Modern academia generally believes that after the mass extinction of dinosaurs in the Paleogene period, only birds and mammals survived the asteroid impact and went on to dominate the Cenozoic era. However, throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, countless sightings of giant creatures began to surface, along with diaries left by explorers traveling across the world. Records describing enormous, unknown animals. These accounts forced many people to question the traditional belief. Could some massive prehistoric species have survived to this day, either as isolated individuals or entire groups, hidden within untouched natural environments? Especially in those remote corners of the Earth, primeval jungles, deep-sea trenches, and volcanic wastelands, places seemingly forgotten by time. Areas that preserve the oldest and most brutal ecological secrets on the planet. Scientists even gave these regions a name: biological dark zones. Ecosystems that remain stable with minimal human interference, theoretically capable of allowing ancient species to continue surviving. By the late 19th century, Europe's exploration fever pushed human footsteps deep into these unknown lands. Reports began to emerge from the dense forests of Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. Some claimed to have seen reptilian creatures over 10 meters tall. Some captured blurry photos of gigantic footprints. Others swore they heard roars like prehistoric monsters echoing through the night. Among all these accounts, the most shocking came from Africa's Congo Basin. Often called the last true wilderness on Earth, the Congo Basin is filled with endless swamps, muddy rivers, and dense forests. The climate is humid, the terrain is treacherous, and even today, humans have explored less than 20% of the entire region. Deep within the Kasai River Valley, local tribes have passed down a chilling name for generations: Kasai Rex. They say the creature looks strikingly similar to a Tyrannosaurus from fossil records. Covered in red-brown scales, eyes glowing blood red, its massive body moving like a walking boulder. It can charge along riverbanks, tear hippos and elephants apart while feeding, and when enraged, its thunderous roar is strong enough to shake the air itself. When Western explorers first heard the name, most of them dismissed it as nothing more than native folklore. But in 1932, when a Swedish explorer named John Johnson witnessed the colossal beast with his own eyes, he began to question the belief widely accepted around the world, that dinosaurs had gone completely extinct. In 1932, the Kasai River Valley of the Congo was filled with a primitive sense of pressure. The rainforest was so dense that sunlight couldn't break through, and the river slithered between the swamps and trees like a giant serpent hiding in the shadows. On that day, the sun hung high in the sky, and the heat was enough to make a person suffocate. The air carried the smell of rotting leaves mixed with wet earth. Swedish plantation owner John Johnson, accompanied by several African guides, ventured deep into what the locals called the forest that even gods fear to enter, on a hunting expedition. Not long after Johnson entered the jungle, he spotted an adult rhinoceros grazing not far ahead. He slowly raised his rifle, carefully aiming at the rhino on the grass, holding his breath, finger resting lightly on the trigger just as he was about to fire. A massive thundering sound came from deep within the trees. The ground shook with each step of something enormous, accompanied by the cracking sound of giant trees being snapped apart. The explosive noises shattered the silence of the jungle. Birds burst into the air, and monkeys shrieked from the treetops. Johnson turned instinctively toward the source of the sound, and what he saw in the next second turned his body rigid with shock. From the depths of the jungle, a colossal creature smashed through the mud, approaching with heavy, heaving breaths. It stood several meters tall, over 10 meters long, body thick and powerful, covered in dark red scales. Its head looked frighteningly similar to a Tyrannosaurus long thought to be extinct. Its eyes blazed like burning coals, and every breath it exhaled turned into mist in the humid air. When it ran, its long, muscular tail swung behind it for balance, strong enough to snap a tree in half with a single hit. In the very next moment, the beast that looked like a living Tyrannosaurus lunged forward and pounced on the rhino. Before the rhino could react, the monster bit down. Its neck snapped instantly. The animal died without a single struggle. A dense wave of blood filled the air, mixing with the steaming heat of the swamp and spreading outward. Johnson and his guide stood frozen, rifles slipping from their hands. They could only watch as the enormous creature let out a low growl, gripped the rhino's corpse in its jaws, and dragged it toward the river. Every step it took was like a drum beat pounding in their chests. They wanted to run, but fear had turned their legs to stone. Fortunately, the beast never noticed them. Carrying its prey, it stepped into the muddy river. Its huge tail swept across the surface, sending waves crashing outward. As the water churned, the monster's massive form slowly sank below, leaving behind only spreading ripples of blood. When the creature finally disappeared, a dead silence fell over the jungle again. Only distant insects called faintly through the trees. Terrified and pale, Johnson and the others hid behind a thicket, squatting low, not daring to make a sound. Only after the river became completely calm did they regain enough strength to move. They ran all the way back to camp, over an hour of sprinting, and even after reaching safety, none of them could steady their breathing. Several of the local guides dropped to their knees, trembling and praying, repeating a single phrase, Mokala Yaloya? In their language it meant, Devourer from the water, please forgive us. It seemed the guides had mistaken the monster for a god, and that wasn't surprising. Among the Bantu and Luba tribes of the Kasai region, the legend of the Kasai Rex has never been just a tale of a dangerous beast. To them, it's a symbol of jungle order, a creature cloaked in mystery, even worshipped as a protector. The Luba people have a legend that has been passed down for hundreds of years. Long ago, there was a greedy tribe in the jungle. In order to seize more land, they destroyed vast stretches of primeval forest and killed countless animals. Then one day, a massive beast known as Mbuji suddenly appeared outside the tribe's village. It destroyed their homes, yet didn't harm a single person. The elders believed it was a warning from the jungle, so they led the tribe away, and from that day on, they no longer cut down forests recklessly or slaughtered animals without reason. Since then, Mbuji became the protector of the tribe. Every year before the rainy season, they held a ritual, placing fruit and meat at the edge of the forest, praying for Mbuji's protection. That night in camp, Johnson listened as the guides told him the tribal legend. He replayed his terrifying encounter over and over again in his mind. It didn't feel like seeing an unknown creature. It felt like coming face to face with a nightmare from ancient times. So Johnson recorded every detail in his notebook: the location where the beast appeared, the river's path, the surrounding terrain, and those eyes full of murderous intent. He even sketched its outline. The shape was almost identical to the Tyrannosaurus people imagine today. Months later, Johnson returned to Europe. He tried to tell scholars about what he saw, but they only laughed. No one believed his story. Some said he had mistaken a crocodile for a dinosaur. Others claimed he was delirious from heat stroke. But Johnson never backed down. He publicly showed his notebook, and inside, for the first time, he used the name Kasai Rex. Yet all he received in return was more ridicule. After that year, Johnson never went back to the Congo, but the records he left behind were later called the closest testimony humans have ever had to witnessing a living dinosaur. They were eventually included in the African Anomalous Creatures Archive and collected by a British cryptozoologist. As these stories and documents spread, more and more scientific expeditions traveled to the Kasai region, hoping to find evidence of the Kasai Rex. But decades passed, and every team either returned empty-handed or brought back clues that could never be confirmed. And it was precisely those vague, unprovable clues that made the mystery of the Kasai Rex grow even deeper. As the legend of the Kasai Rex spread across the world, more and more people were drawn here, and the closest anyone has ever come to uncovering the truth happened in 2009 with an expedition led by American biologist John Romer. Near the swamps along the upper Lomami River, they set up 20 infrared cameras and hired local tribal guides. For more than 3 months, they searched deep inside the jungle. At first, the research team didn't have high expectations. After all, many expeditions before them had come back empty-handed. But in the second month of their research, one of the infrared cameras captured a blurry photograph. It was taken at 3 a.m. at the edge of a swamp. A massive, dark figure was lying on the ground. Its outline resembled the legendary Kasai Rex. a Tyrannosaurus-shaped head, a long tail, a thick and powerful body. Unfortunately, the image was too blurry. Only a vague silhouette could be seen, with no distinguishable details. What excited the team even more was what they found near that swamp, a line of footprints. Each print was about 60 centimeters long and 30 centimeters wide, with clear claw marks at the toes and a depth of nearly 10 centimeters. Romer's team measured and analyzed them and estimated that the creature weighed more than 5 tons, with a stride length of about 3 meters, almost exactly matching the descriptions in Johnson's notebook decades earlier. And around the prints, there were no signs of any other animals, which meant this creature was moving alone, not as part of a herd. In hopes of finding more evidence, Romer's team decided to follow the footprints deeper into the forest. But after less than 2 kilometers, trouble started. Ahead of them, the forest was filled with poisonous vines and swamps. The guides warned them that area was Mbuji's territory, and going any farther would be dangerous. Romer tried to persuade them at first, but when he saw the look in the guides' eyes and felt the fog growing thicker around them, he finally chose to turn back. Later in an interview, Romer said he didn't regret the decision. On one hand, the jungle environment was genuinely dangerous, and pushing forward might have injured someone. On the other hand, the guide's attitude made him realize that they might have crossed into a place they should never have entered. Those tribes had lived in the Congo far longer than any scientific team. Their warning wasn't without reason. After the expedition ended, Romer's team released the photos and the footprint data, and it immediately caused a sensation. Some paleontologists believe that based on the footprint size and silhouette, the creature might be an undiscovered descendant of a dinosaur, possibly a theropod like Tyrannosaurus Rex. But T-Rex went extinct 66 million years ago, and its fossils are mostly found in North America, not in the jungles of Africa. Other biologists argued it might be a gigantic crocodile, but crocodiles are amphibious and can't walk on land for long distances. Then came the boldest theory. Some scientists believe that inside the Kasai region, there might exist a completely isolated ecosystem, a place where species long extinct elsewhere have survived in secret. After all, the Congo Basin is one of the largest untouched jungles on Earth. Huge areas remain uncharted by humans. For example, the so-called Forest of Death in the Upper Lomami region stretches across tens of thousands of square kilometers, filled with swamps, venomous snakes, and poisonous plants. Almost no one dares to enter, but theories are still just theories. Without solid evidence, the existence of the Kasai Rex cannot be proven. Romer's team launched 2 more expeditions afterward, but neither of them found new clues. So in 2015, during an interview with National Geographic, Romer said, "Maybe we will never find physical evidence of the Kasai Rex, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. There is too much unknown hidden inside the Congo jungle. Our understanding of this place might be less than 10%.